Hello and welcome to this channel. In this video I'm going to go through some of the basic characteristics of prehistoric art. This will only be a general introduction, but I do encourage anyone who finds this topic interesting to investigate it further. To begin with, what do we mean by prehistoric? This term is often used along with the terms pre-literary history or Stone Age to refer to the cultural production of early humankind. As there is no evidence of any written language systems being used during this time frame, the term prehistoric refers to the time before any written records were produced. With the development of written language, we enter the so-called historic period, where we find the occurrence of recorded history. This shift occurs to some extent in tandem with the shift to Bronze Age cultures, such as those found in the ancient Near East. Further terminology used include the terms Paleolithic, or the Old Stone Age period, with the end stages being classified as the Upper Paleolithic. This is followed by a transitional period known as the Mesolithic, which in turn is followed by the Neolithic, or most recent or latter part of the Stone Age. Dates vary for these periods depending on geographical location, but in general the Paleolithic ended about 12,000 years ago, while the Neolithic lasted to about 2000 BCE. These terms are generally used to classify prehistoric art from Europe, with other parts of the globe having different time frames and periods. An example of this is with African prehistory, where the term Middle Stone Age refers to a period that dates from about 280 to about 50 to 25,000 years ago. Some historians suggest an even older date range for this period. This contrasts quite drastically to the time frame given to the Mesolithic period in Europe and elsewhere. The term Stone Age refers to the tool technologies humans had at this point in time, namely stone, in contrast to later technologies such as bronze, iron, and more recently steam, seen in the Industrial Age. Historians have also noted differences in the tool technologies being used during the Paleolithic period, such as with materials, manufacturing techniques, and items produced. These differences led to the identification of different cultural periods within the Paleolithic, including the Aurignacian, the Gravettian, the Solutrean, and the Magdalenian cultures. These are dated from about 43,000 years ago up to about 12,000 years ago. As far as dates go, the Paleolithic period spans the first emergence of modern humans or Homo sapiens, up to about 8,000 or 9,000 years ago. At this point, a shift from hunter-gatherer to agricultural societies occurs, and with this written language develops. This time frame also covers the last glacial maximum, or the last glacial coldest period, approximately 20 to 26,000 years ago, that occurred with the last ice age. This is relevant to the production of art, as it is in caves used for shelters that we find many of these artworks, especially in Europe. It is important to remember that dates given for many prehistoric artworks are approximate and variable, as dating processes are not accurate to an exact moment in time. For this reason, a date range is often used. While it is believed that language may have developed 80,000 years ago, we have yet to find evidence of prolific art production from earlier than about 40,000 BCE. It is possible art was produced, but that materials used deteriorated over time, or that other types of art forms, such as tattoo, scarification, body painting, and dance, were more important to early man than objects that had more permanence. Some early works do provide a bit of controversy. One is a ladder-shaped image from a cave in La Pasiega, northern Spain. Dating of the image shows it to be about 65,000 years old, a time frame that archaeologists believe the cave to have been occupied by Neanderthals, thus questioning the idea that it was only modern humans who produced art. The Blombos cave system in South Africa has revealed what is considered to be the oldest known drawing. It consists of 9 abstract red lines drawn on a rock with a piece of ochre, and is dated at about 73,000 years old. Also found at sites in South Africa are engraved ochre pieces with cross-hatched patterns and parallel lines incised into the top. These have been dated to between 70 and 100,000 years old. Some of the oldest known European sites date from about 35 to 40,000 years ago. This is during the Aurignacian period and is associated with the first early modern humans to settle the region. These are the Cro-Magnon people of Europe, also known as European early modern humans, who migrated to Europe from Western Asia about 56,000 years ago. One such example is the Lion Man of Hollenstein's Duddel, a human-animal composite figure made of ivory. This piece is approximately 28 to 30,000 years old and was found in a cave in Germany. Some other notable sites in Europe include the cave systems of Chauvet, Cosca, and Lascaux, located in France, and Altamira in Spain. Evidence for a site occupation at these sites range from 35,000 up to 11,000 years ago. Two-dimensional imagery or painting was produced using iron compounds such as iron oxides like hemite and goethite, along with charcoal for black, usually as an outline. Materials are sourced from minerals found in the local area, ground into powder and mixed with a binder material made from clay, water that was rich in minerals such as calcium, as seen at Lascaux, animal fat, or even wax. This mixture was either dabbed on or applied with brushes fashioned from plants, or sprayed through a hollow tube possibly made from bone or reeds, with the artist cupping his or her hand to help shape the forms. This method was also used to create handprints on the rock wall, where the artist placed their hands on the rock and blew pigment over it, leaving a negative imprint of the hand on the surface. Some areas have images that are incised or engraved into the rock, a method known as a petroglyph, a term meaning stone carving. These are common in open shelters where they have not eroded over time. With cave paintings, these are mostly found deep within caves away from the entrance and areas of human habitation. Stone lamps with animal fat were used to light these recesses for both the artist and the contemporary audience, and were placed on natural ledges within the cave. Some caves have also shown evidence of scaffolding being used. Sculptural pieces also occur and are mostly portable and made from stone, bone, ivory and clay, usually unfired. Many of these take on the form of the material it was made from. Relief pieces, where the form is attached to the wall, include an example of bison made from unfired clay found in a cave in France. Subject matter is predominantly animals, especially during the Paleolithic, where the human figure, in particular the human male, is seldom represented. These are represented with a high degree of naturalism. During the Neolithic, we see a greater use of the human male figure appearing in art, notably in domestication and hunting scenes from sites in Africa. In general, genres such as landscape, portraiture and still life are absent from Paleolithic art, but some of these do make an appearance in the Neolithic. These works also appear to lack the use of narrative, such as the retelling of contemporary historical events. However, a study into motion in cave paintings could point to a link to narrative usage in these artworks. The image that I'm doing a watercolor study of is from the Hall of Bulls. This is part of the cave system at Lascaux, France, and dates from the Magdalenian period, roughly 17 to 22,000 years ago. These were rediscovered in 1940 by a young man walking his dog. The cave has nearly 600 images of animals, humans, and abstract designs. The main chamber, known as the Hall of Bulls, is located far from the entrance and mostly features images of bulls and horses. Why these animals were shown is not clear, as they were not believed to be a substantial part of the diet of the creators. They are not merely decorative though, but the actual reason for their creation will never be known. Different approaches to painting imagery is shown at Lascaux and other sites, including producing either colored silhouettes of the animals or outline sketches. In some instances, the natural shape and bulges of the cave wall were used to indicate volume, and along with shading, form appears three-dimensional. The use of perspective is also found at some sites. It is possible different generations of artists produced these works over different time periods, overlapping imagery and creating a scene where animals face multiple directions and are in varied scales. These artworks lack a ground line or setting and are not placed within a landscape or context, suggesting the importance of the animal as focus. Some images are produced using an aerial viewpoint, whether to present the animal lying down, wounded, deceased, or even potentially giving birth. Most images are made in a profile rendering, with all the features, namely head, horns, body, and all four legs and tail usually shown. This suggests the importance of presenting an accurate description of these images and may be linked to some theories put forward about why these works were created. I will elaborate on these theories in my next video, along with a discussion of subject matter in Paleolithic art. If you have made it this far, thank you for watching and take care. Please remember to like, subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you.